Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm greeting you with my homepage to my YouTube channel, and I wanted to thank everybody who has made it possible for me to get to 893 subscribers. Very big thank you to all of you. Also, I've noticed the views have increased. So back in the days, we used to get no more than about maybe 1,000 views a month. Now I'm getting almost 9,000 views a month. So I'm really happy with this. The subscribers, you guys are making a thing. But what I wanted to show you as well was basically 60% of the subscribers have not subscribed. So guys, if you're new to the channel, right, my name is Sham. I make videos on cryptocurrency a lot of the time for a small group of select people that I know, but I like to share it with the world, whatever I have. I also make videos on religious videos, sometimes maybe political videos. Sadly, the politic ones get taken down by YouTube. But other than that, I make videos on just about everything. So this is not going to be a channel where you're going to come in and you're going to be kind of bored by seeing the same thing over and over again. A lot of repetition. You're not going to have that. Only one thing, maybe how much of a bull I am on Bitcoin. But I want you guys to, if you haven't subscribed already, please do hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything and it will support the channel. Also, hit the like button as soon as you've entered the video. So just right now, just hit the like button. But let's move into the content today. So today we've got quite a bit of content going on today. So earlier on, somebody asked me regarding what would happen to Bitcoin if the internet was to be taken down. And I'm going to get to that. So watch the video right to the end because we are going to get to this. Also, somebody asked today about a particular coin called coti. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because I have talked about coti before, but I'm going to give you some of my strategies and what I tend to do. So again, kind of just talking about my strategy, right? So let's go straight into the content today. And then we'll obviously do some Bitcoin update. We'll do some Ethereum update. And also, why not? If we're on the subject, we might as well give you the strategy of matic, which I've recently talked about. Right, let's go straight into the content. So currently we're looking at the market. We're looking at the market cap, which is at 1.83 trillion, 4.4% up. Pretty much the whole market is going up. There's nothing really much to report on that, right? Market's going up, but it's exactly as predicted, and I'll get to this in a very second because I've been predicting certain numbers for months and weeks now, and we kind of go into this. And also another thing I wanted to get into this while, and I'll do it when I get to the BTC, actually much better, because I was talking about how a previous resistance will become a current support. So we'll go into those details as well, actually, while I'm on it. So let's go straight into coti. Right, so this is, as you know, this is my chart that I actually customized and done myself. So on this chart, as you can see, coti is in a good range. It was in the golden pocket. So this particular yellow area here is what is my golden pocket, where I would personally buy. And we briefly entered this, and then the market just decided to go up. And if you look at it, longer term trend line, you can see that we're still trending up. We slightly went down, but that was because of the way Bitcoin was reacting. But other than that, coti seems to be going okay. And we do have multiple targets where we would. Now, let me explain something about how coti, or any coin, right, any shit coin or altcoin, whatever you want to call it, right, what I do. So most of the time, most of the coins, I never buy them when they're pumping. If it's pumped, if the boat is gone, I'm not going to jump on that boat. It doesn't matter who the coin is, right? It could be the greatest coin on the planet. I don't care. I'm not going to jump in. Also, coming back into this, right, the other thing I do is I don't jump into coins where I see a significant difference, a very big difference from the all-time high. And what I'm trying to show you is this. For example, let's go to find one nicely. Let me show you something. Actually, there's a very good one here. Why am I even passing? So you see this one here. So our all-time high was $3.84. Currently, we're sitting at 56. This, if you look at where the market is 1/6 or less than that, probably about 1/6.5 or 7th of the original all-time high, and we're currently in the peak of a bull run. Do I think this is going to come back to this price? I doubt it. So this is going to see some pumps and dumps, but ultimately I don't think it's going to reach there. So this is one of the coins, and there's, trust me, I'm not hating on XRP. It just doesn't make any mathematical sense for me to be jumping into this and making some money. Whereas when you've got something like this, where this is the all-time high and this is the price, we're too close to fail. That's what the whole idea is. So coming back into coti, I bought somewhere way down here. I can't remember, somewhere way down here, right? This is not even 2020, actually. I bought it earlier. So I bought it somewhere somewhere here, this particular zone here. Yeah, this around this area here, right? So around this particular area here, I bought it and I just sat on it, and that we were not even pumping at that time. So I just bought it and I said, right, just put some little change in there. When it peaked up, and I remember when we peaked around this area, because I made significant gains, I took out most of my money and I left some small profits remaining in there. The profits alone has pumped from there to here. So I'm actually sitting on free coti, number one. And number two, I'm making more money from the free amount that I was holding. So that's what I want to make everybody understand, that I don't really stay in a currency too long. If it's new, it's had its massive dump. So every time I buy, I wait for the dump to come. There's always a big dump. I wait for the biggest dump possible to come. Once the big dump comes in, then I tend to pick it up if I have some faith in it, right? Even then, I won't pick up just any Tom and Dick and Harry random coin. I just won't do it. For me, it has to have some sort of a psychological, fundamental attachment that might connect with other people. Necessarily, it doesn't have to connect to me, but I could see other people might FOMO into this, thinking the technology or the idea is great. And I'm going to monetize on that. So yeah, I'm in it for the money, and I'm honest about it, right? So that's what I would do. Now, when I invest, I would either invest using a Bitcoin, I would invest using Ethereum, or I would invest using dollar. Whichever one gives me the maximum amount of profit is the one I'm going to take it back in. So I always tend to take all my initial investment out and some on top, and then leave some, right? So that's what I want to explain to you. Now, coming into the latest situation where we talked about it, and I'll drop matic in there, right? So matic, so I recently sold. So I bought matic. I got God knows where it was. I can't remember where it was. But anyway, I bought matic. I sold matic on this pump. Then I bought matic again, right? And I sold matic around this pump. And then recently I bought matic around here, right? Or was it here? I think it was around here or somewhere, right? I bought matic anyway, around this price level. And matic then took a little bit of a dump. But remember, I bought it 3 times, and every time I bought it, I made significant gains. As soon as I made my gains, I shifted it. So if it was in USD and I thought USD was a lot more valuable, BTC is going down, I jumped back straight into USDC. Today, however, when I looked at it, I noticed that matic on BTC is pumping hard, right? So when I saw this pump happening, I said, actually, I entered with USDC, but for me, it makes more sense to sell, and I'm going to sell at these levels here, right? These particular levels here. But if I sell, I end up having more BTC. So when I bought it around here, I had 0.2 of BTC I bought, right? And currently, I realize that if I sell it somewhere around this particular level, or even around here somewhere, I actually end up getting almost 0.05 BTC more. Knowing that BTC is also going up in price, technically it's a win-win. So I wanted to explain that's how I also play the game as well. Coming back into this, actually, let me just take you straight into this. Ethereum. So on Ethereum, you can see that this is quite funny, right? So there's 2 Fibonacci's here, right? So the slim lines that you see is the system generated, which is this one. It's an auto Fibonacci retracement, and this is my Fibonacci. So I'm going to switch off that one, but I just want to quickly show you that pretty much both of them, right? Pretty much both of them put this particular area as the best place to buy. So let me switch this one off. Switch this one up, right? So you can see that it was almost pretty much in line. But this was like the perfect zone to enter. And if you look at a greater picture, and I always mention this as well, right? Just look at a greater picture of what the pattern looks like. So for me to show you the pattern, I'm just doing this. Normally I wouldn't, but look. This is what I'm seeing, right? This is what I'm seeing. So ultimately, for us to get to that level, we need to, this particular neckline is where we have to break above. Once we break above this neck level, the neckline, then we're on the W trend, and the W is going to be explosive. And if it does, then we are looking at anything close to 2,100 all the way to 2,360, right? So only a few $100, and this is going to do the similar thing as what BTC did. And then later on, it will probably do like $1,000 jumps, right? So if you just look at the Fibonacci sequence, you can see once we go from here, we go $200 up, then we do a $400, $300, and then the jumps are just so high, it's just massive, right? So that's what we're looking at currently. As you can see, the Fibonacci's are indicating that we are going to see a $4,600 or a $5,200 at some point, but then there's a long way for us to go. So I hope you guys understand this. And coming back into the Ethereum thing, I spoke to someone today, and I told them that if I had £100 or $100 to buy something, and I was given the choice of, like, okay, you have only 2 coins to buy, then I would put 80% into Bitcoin because it's a lot more stable in my opinion, and I'll put 20% into Ethereum because it's not stable, but it does have a future, right? I'll put it there. The only threat Ethereum faces is Polkadot and Cardano, because remember, Cardano and Polkadot, the founders are original Ethereum developers and original Ethereum founders as well. They had whatever disagreement they had, and then they went and they split and they ended up making their own blockchains, and each have their plus points, their pros and cons, right? So currently, obviously, Ethereum is old technology. Ethereum is a lot more established, but it's not the best. You have to understand. So the others do threaten it, and others are innovating as they're still not finished building. For example, Polkadot, it's enabling its, I forgot what it's called, like, those where other blockchains could come in. And soon Polkadot will merge with its secondary system, the developer system, which is the Kasuma. With Kasuma and Polkadot, if they both merge together, Kasuma currently is about $500 a coin. So let's have a quick look at that, KSM. Where is KSM? Have a look. I'll show you what I mean, KSM. Kasuma. I'm going to show you this because you'll understand what's happening. Kasuma is the one that basically any blockchain that wants to take the space will be using. I'm not even sure if it's even here, but I'll show you what Kasuma is doing. Okay, let's just search for it, right? Let's just forget all of this. Let's just search for it. KSM. ASM. So this is Kasuma, right? And what I want you to understand about Kasuma, this is the price of one Kasuma. Kasuma is the exact duplicate. Think about it as the test bed for Polkadot, right? And this is Kasuma's price, and this is dot price, right? And I want you to understand something. What do you think will happen when they merge? Just make an assumption. I'm going to leave that to your imagination. I'm not going to say anything more on that particular subject, right? I'll just leave it to your imagination. When Polkadot is finally finished building its product, when Kasuma, the testbed, is finally done everything it needs to do, and the codes are moved over. Remember, all the testing Polkadot does is done on Kasuma, and yet Kasuma today is 544 and a Polkadot is 34. As I said, I'll leave it to your imagination for you to understand what's going to happen. So coming back into this, of course, I'm still bullish on Ethereum. If I was given 4 choice, then I would buy, Ethereum, I would buy Bitcoin. I would, obviously, majority would be, so I would put 50%. If I had 4 choices, I would put 50% of my money in Bitcoin. I'll put, say, 20% into Ethereum, and I'll put 15 equally in Cardano and Polkadot, just to kind of broaden the bucket, right? Or, my little basket. So hope that makes sense. Now, let's go into, we've already talked about this, right? Or unless you guys want, I'm not quite sure. So I'll just tell you what we're looking at again, just to kind of clear. I know the last time a few things didn't happen. It wasn't clear for you. Understand this, each line represents where we need to be. Okay, each line, even the Fibonacci lines itself represents where we need to be. So for us to, from where we are, we're in the golden pocket. For us to confirm that we are reversing this particular downward trend. So we've got a bigger trend here, and I want to show you this bigger trend so you understand. So say from here to here, there's actually another trend, right? If you just have a look, there's another trend. So this blue line that you see is exactly another trend. And for us to break above this trend, we have to go to this particular candle, beat this price, which is the 1969. Once we beat this, then we're confirming that we have now gone. So this is the neckline of the W. This is where we need to go in order for us to go up. Then obviously we've got the previous all-time high, which is now technically a resistance, and we're going to be talking about that on the next part of this video. So let's go into Bitcoin and talk a little bit about Bitcoin, and we'll talk about other stuff as well. So which one are we on right now? So this is a chart that all my viewers, hold on, let me get rid of this. I hate this. This keeps on coming. I don't know why. Let's get rid of this. Right. all the viewers already know that I've talked about Bitcoin on this particular chart. These prices have been marked for a very long time, and each one of them is a support line or a resistance line. These red lines, so this particular red is where the previous high should have been, and we came slightly below that, but that's fine. This is still a target for us to get to. This 66 is a target for us to get to. This 71 is also a target for us to get to. So we will get to all of those in at some point. It's a matter of when, not if. I've always said this, because as long as we're in this bull market, it's a matter of when, not if. And also, just to kind of show you the patterns that I see on a larger time frame, you'll understand why I'm so bullish. Because you see this neckline here, this neckline is a 61,000 neckline. Right, so we've got this particular W that has formed. So even though it's a lower, it doesn't matter. As long as this part of this W is higher, we're brilliant W. This is a perfect W. So as you can see, once we break this particular neckline, this is now our neckline. Once we break that, the move will be explosive. We could easily see a 70,000 coin. So that's what I want you guys to understand. So yeah, I mean, for now, there's not really any point. I know a lot of the guys do these daily hype videos. Oh, guys, today we're doing this, today we're doing that. Guys, the charts don't change, right? So, there's no point coming on and constantly hyping something. We know where BTC is going. I always talk about it. I mean, for me, I always show people this particular chart, for example, the logarithmic chart. And I always say, we are going to go up to these levels. This top line, we are going to go there. This is exactly where we need to go. The price may not be 104 or whatever it's showing now, because as time moves on, it will change. But we are going to this line. So we're now only here. We're only about, 60% into the bull market, 60, 70%, I would say. So, of course, and I mean, we were very close to 70% and we've come down a little bit. So it's really cool, right? We're doing okay. Don't worry. We're going to get there at some point. So don't panic. Now, so we've obviously, where were we? Okay, I've shown you that part. I don't need to show you anything there. This is, okay, I've obviously showed you this. This is really congested. Let's just go back to this one. Sorry, some of these charts are very, very congested. I want to show you this. So let's leave it here. So now we know we're kind of reversing. And obviously for us to confirm the reversal, we need to have a 59,943 or so. Ish, right? As soon as we have that, we then confirm that we've broken above this. We're having a higher high, so this high will be higher than this high. That's the idea. Currently, as you can see, we used to have a downward sloping wedge, which is now completely broken out, and we've confirmed this with this particular candle. We almost kind of, let me see if I can move this. Let me try and move these. Some of these lines, that vertical lines you see, they are there for a reason, and they are going to be there. We'll talk about it in another day. But as you can see, this candle was the one that confirmed, and we broke out. And then since then, just going back up again. So this week has been very good. In fact, if you go back to the weekly candles, you can see how bullish this, one candle was. It was by a very small fraction. As you can see, this red here, we just beat that red, right? By keeping it above the 57,425, we managed to confirm that we're now going back up. Okay, so now let's go into some important stuff. So the brother asked a question today, and his question was, what will happen if the internet goes down in war-torn countries or anything like this? And I found it to be a very, very powerful question, and I feel everybody needs to listen, right? But before I get to the answer, I want to give you a little bit of my own opinion on this, right? And this is very harsh, right? But it's going to be the honest truth. Of course, I talked about the 51% attack. I talked about also some other stuff, how a lot of money would have to be pumped in to, save stuff. And the brother mentioned like war-torn country, how would these people get their funds? Number one, I have mentioned it on the other video, that if you've submitted your Bitcoin, right, it's confirmed on the blockchain. You've got your 1-2 confirmations. Even one confirmation is enough. You've got your confirmation on the blockchain the moment you received it. Doesn't matter if you received it today. Doesn't matter if you received it 50 years ago. Right, not 50 years ago, but 2009 or 10, whatever. But the point is, you've done that already. It's confirmed that this is your Bitcoin, your private keys, right? You've confirmed that. Now, if you've confirmed that already, as long as you don't die And this is the harsh part I was telling about. As long as you don't die in a war-torn country, right? Obviously, in a war-torn country, what are you going to do with your Bitcoin? Absolutely nothing. But as long as you don't die and you decide to leave everything back and you exit the country and find yourself a place where you can go and, find sanctuary, well, guess what? You just got to access those seed phrases anywhere from the world. You don't need a physical wallet. You don't need a physical device. You can use an internet anywhere and do it. But even if the internet goes down, that's the question, right? So, and let's go to the bigger picture. If the whole internet is switched off, I talked about it in the deepest case scenario where for everyone to forget about Bitcoin, for Bitcoin to be completely rendered useless, right? We would have to have a generation skip where no one knows about Bitcoin. But I found something for you, which is done very recently, and everyone's upvoted it, and I think it is the best example of what it is. So we're going to read this, and I hope this explains, right? Because this question does come around, and trust me, almost every year somebody asks this question. Doesn't matter to me or to the community or to the world. Everyone talks about it. Remember I said to you how Bitcoin died about 420 times or 404 times or whatever. Trust me, every year at some point Bitcoin will die because somebody's going to come out with the story for whatever reason without doing the research, and they're going to say, okay, it's all dead. And everyone's going to jump onto that pipe boat and they're going to feel it is dead. But the fact is us lot, we understand a lot more about it than not. But I'm glad you asked me this question. Today in this video, we are going to show you an answer done by Devyanth Jairaj, right? Now, this is really good. Also, note one thing. He's an Indian. Note one thing. He's an Indian. So think about the India FUD when he speaks about this. The question is, what happens to Bitcoin if the internet is shut down? Of course, he's feeling the same thing, or somebody is asking that question. They are feeling the same thing. So this is the answer, right? No, it won't. Bitcoin isn't held together by the internet. It is held together by the computers that make up the internet. Do you understand what he just said? So if the internet goes down, then the computers will still each have a copy of the blockchain. Once the internet comes back up, these copies of the blockchains are tailed together to check if the transactions in it are consistent. If they are, then the Bitcoin network is resumed. Meanwhile, if the copy of the blockchain in your computer and maybe a few others is not consistent with what was agreed upon as the Bitcoin blockchain after the restoration, then you and a few other computers who do have the same copy of blockchain as you have two choices. Update your blockchain by accepting the Bitcoin blockchain as the source of truth. Split off from the original network and call yourself something else like Bitcoin XYZ or whatever. So what he's trying to say is like the fork of a Bitcoin, right? So long story short, the answer is no. Bitcoin will not go down if the internet goes down. In fact, Bitcoin might not even go down if all the computers crash because the blockchain is just a ledger that is stored on a hard disk. So practically speaking, Bitcoin can go down when every storage device in the world goes down. And even then, there is a slim possibility that someone printed out the entire blockchain onto several reams of paper. This is what I want you to understand. Several reams of paper before the hypothetical hard disk apocalypse. So I hope this makes sense to you. And obviously, he's taken it to the extreme as well, and I love that, right? So this is why I got this for you. As long as your seed phrase, as long as the blockchain, as long as the code, the main hardcore code isn't a piece of paper, no one can take it down. It's a code. It's immutable. There's a reason why we call it immutable. Means there is literally no way of doing it. Now, I hope this kind of broadens your, your view towards what this is. Think about it this way, right? Let's go this way. The whole world has this big, massive nuclear strike. And we have these massive EMP, going on, right? So all your devices that have a microchip, all fried. It doesn't matter. Somebody like myself and others will have a copy of the Bitcoin somewhere protected from EMP blasts, number one. Number two, will have their seed phrases on a piece of paper, right? So it can't go down, right? And also remember another thing I mentioned as well. Well, I'm not sure. I haven't mentioned it on a video, but I've said to somebody else one day. there are people who are extra cautious, or have these conspiracy theories, and I am one of those as well. I don't have my tin foil with me, and my camera's not on, so you can't really see my tin foil if I did have one. But the point is even one single fraction of a Bitcoin, if we can take it offline, off chain, right, put it in a device, in some sort of a protection, and hide it somewhere, well, believe me, we're fine. Also, another thing to mention, there are people who put their USB drives or hard drives or anything like that, their storage device basically, with the Bitcoin in safe deposits. And one thing you have to notice about safe deposits, they are kind of EMP proof. So there are people out there who have gone to extreme lengths to protect the chain, just in case. Every question you're asking has already been thought of. Every doomsday scenario you can think of has already been thought of, right? Bitcoin cannot be taken down. If it could, and even to this day, every single government of the world have tried. They've invested billions, if not trillions, trying to take this down, and they can't because of the total nature. It's a distributed ledger. It's distributed, it's fractionalized so much that there are millions and millions of people holding a fraction of a Bitcoin. Unless you can get the whole thing together in one go, you can't harm Bitcoin. You take down the whole internet, people can open up a private network within a small zone. So internet goes down, that's fine. All you need is a Wi-Fi router and a bit of electricity. And guess what? Technically, we've got internet, right? We don't even need the technology, and there are technologies coming out where people have already thought about the fact about all of these doomsday scenarios. There are new products coming in the market, maybe in 2022. Let me just put it this way: by 2025, you will see new products coming in the market where you can actually transfer a Bitcoin, maybe Bluetooth to Bluetooth. Also, there are people, these major companies who are thinking about putting the blockchain in a satellite. Do you understand the implication of that? If you put the blockchain in the satellite, well, the whole world could be dark. It doesn't matter. We have thousands of satellites. In fact, Elon Musk owns the highest number of satellites. He has like 1,000 satellites up there. What says you can't just put another satellite up there and have the blockchain running in there and then have that backup to another backup? So in order for someone to take down Bitcoin, and this is all works in progress, in order for somebody to take down the Bitcoin, you shut down the whole internet. You shut down electricity. You shut down everything. We go back into the dark ages. You also have to take down every single satellite orbiting the planet. Right? Think about that. And if I was a guy designing a satellite or some sort of an orbiter, guess what I would be doing? I'll basically put the blockchain and obviously have a connection back to Earth, and literally send it as far as possible out of space. So it's there, it's immutable, right? So even with current technology, it's immutable. And even with future technology, all we have to do, send a probe and just let it go out of this planet. And then it's a whole different story. It cannot be taken down. I hope this explains. I know this video is slightly a bit long, so coming back to guys, listen, if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, hit the like button and see all the crazy videos. And also I've got some new videos coming as well. I've got all sorts of videos scheduled. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of videos here scheduled. I'm doing these for the brothers who are Muslim, and we've got the Ramadan coming up as well, is there. And also there's a whole bunch of Michael Saylor videos and all sorts of other inspiring videos that I've put in, news clips and everything. Watch them, they will inspire you. Okay, I wouldn't put it there if I thought they would have no value to, but please do watch them. So other than that guys, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on another one. I hope this video was informative. I know it's a bit crazy, but don't worry about it. And also coming back to actually before I forget, if a war-torn country, bro, get the hell out of there. Don't be in a war. We should be in peace. Bitcoin promotes peace, not war. So we shouldn't be thinking about war if we're in Bitcoin. Full stop.